Subscribe or you'll be visited by the toll troll. Given the economical and demographic situation of the continent, when you're at the bottom the only way is up and the sky is the limit, and growth is relative, I can't see why it wouldn't be a good idea. Africans are short-sighted. For tech you have to be extremely far-sighted to even build something decent. You do know Africans are literally incapable of designing and manufacturing a tank, right? Would you actually invest in a continent incapable of this? PIC-related makes it look like huge core are a good thing. I guess having fewer huge corporations is a good thing for Europe. Monopolies are a threat to the free market. Lol Euro guys turn out to be the dumbest on earth with the biggest head start and soon outdone by Africa. There's no way this isn't bait. Easy to get rich when you can just steal the resource from Africa and use Asian slaves to manufacture. The biggest problem for African tech is that Africa is highly diverse. That is, tech companies don't scale well. I'd say just invest in emerging markets more broadly. Consider a mix of EBND and VWO. One of the wealthiest countries in Africa is South Africa. Some extremist party politicians in South Africa are calling for the genocide of all Afrikaners and white farmers. They are facing mass unemployment, rolling blackouts, and if they commit genocide against farmers as did Zimbabwe, then they shall face a famine. When there is no genocide against farmers, such countries and similar states are genociding Esher others, Tutsi, Hutus, Bantus and other ethnic groups destroying each other. Why would any tech company invest in a geopolitical climate capable of such instability? Europeans had the wheel for thousands of years and never once thought of using one to immobilize a torture victim that one is about to immolate. African tech innovations tend to be the kind of outside-the-box thinking that leads to outsized returns. The level of corruption in Africa makes it hard to deploy capital. People unfamiliar with actual business dynamics figure this is a 50%, 25%, maybe 10% efficiency problem. But in truth we're talking about orders of magnitude. For that matter, you already see 10x to 1.000x going from Europe to Burgerland, due to scale, networking, legal infrastructure, and so on. The efficiency multiplier, or divider, between Africa and the US would reach millions in some cases if you were to try to quantify it. In practice it simply means most ideas that are viable in developed countries plain aren't in Africa. The 0 to 1 part is a real hurdle. The world isn't equal and leveled, nor something that naturally strive for being equal and leveled. There's reasons Africa has 1%, both internal, people less capable of creating wealth by invention, order, cooperation etc., and external, richer and more powerful nations take advantage without returning an African. Nations do, and want to keep Africa down to be able to continue to do so. It's not that long since they became colonized, aka effed in the ace beyond belief. 200 years, and 100 years too, officially, independently bounce back and adapt to the new world who invaded them. But to think that will turn now is high-risk investment. Not impossible. The fact that China's takeover of Africa, that incites US and Europe to compete can go two ways, war and more destruction, or the grounds for real progress. I suspect long-term, it's the latter. Anyhow, if investing in Africa, I believe Rwanda to be a good bet. One of the richest per capita, stable, and forward-looking / determined nations in Africa, and that only less than 30 years after civil war and genocide, small without natural resources, and landlocked, with African neighbors, are damn impressive. So nation must have brains, and brains in control, or extreme support by rich country brains to have an safe economic / trading basin in the middle of Africa, either are good omens. Yes, absolutely a good idea in theory. But things differ greatly country by country. Plus corruption and dishonesty is rampant. Nasper's founders are white South Africans. Once they get necked by the Bantus or Zulus or whatever, Africa will disappear entirely from your pick related. Remember making some good money buying Jamia calls in 21. Might be good time to look into it again.